If someday you want to have a beautiful home birth experience or a natural birth experience or just a positive one, bringing your tiny little humans into this world, stick around in this video. I'm going to share with you the 5 things that really helped me to have a beautiful home water birth right in this room 1 year ago today. My name is Janelle Fraser, and I'm an intimacy and communication expert for women and for couples. You might be wondering, well, what does this have to do with intimacy and communication? So the communication you have with your partner, the interaction you have with your partner is going to very much dictate your experience in labor. When emotion runs high, we need to have the best form of communication because all of our patterns, all of our fear-based thinking, all of our negative ways of interacting will come out when emotions are running high, which absolutely happens in a labor. So labor is very instinctual. So when people say you can't control birth, what they're trying to get at, I believe, is that you can't consciously control birth. You can't dictate every little thing that's going to happen, absolutely. However, I believe that it is super disempowering to tell someone to just go with the flow and you can't control your birth. I believed that I could control my birth. But you see, it wasn't conscious control. I was still going to be going with the flow, but I was going to be going with the flow from a non-fear-based way. When we go with the flow, for the most part, that means our mind defaults into what we've seen in movies, what stories our friends and family have told us, and our biggest fears. So we need to be able to equip our mind. That's the second thing of after you getting rid of the you can't control birth. We need to be able to equip our mind, prepare your mind for this experience so that when instinct takes over, your instinct isn't fear, panic, and worry and all the negative programming you've seen over the years when it comes to birth. Prepare your mind. If you're going to run a marathon, you wouldn't just jump out there and run a marathon. Why are women going into their birth experiences unprepared? They are going into birth experiences like, oh, we're just gonna go with the flow and see what happens. Like, no, this is a damn marathon, lady. Like, you need to prepare your mind. If you want a beautiful experience, you need to look at how your mind thinks about birth, because guess what? We create what is in our mind. We see it in our life all the time, and so I'm just really encouraging you to look at those fears, look at the worries that you have, and figure out how to shift them. Get support with shifting them because your mindset and preparing your mind is huge. So the third thing on top of this is I want you to protect your mind, which means you don't need to hear Cousin Lucy's story and Aunt Sally's traumatic birth experiences just so you know what's possible. You don't need those, as well as movies that show pain and torture and trauma in labor. Don't surround yourself with that information. There is tons of information out there, such as Ina May Glaskin's stuff and various birth coaches out there that are putting out another vision of what is possible for a birth. And unfortunately, in the mainstream media, and most women are not empowered about what their bodies are capable of. And so go to the places you want the information. If you want a powerful birth experience, then talk to women who have had those. Don't talk to the people who've had the traumatic birth experiences. The next thing is your bubble of safety in the actual birthing room, who you're letting in, whether it's the doctors you're choosing to work with, the midwives, where you're having your birth, all of these things you need to actually ask yourself and sit, what makes me feel the most safe, open, and relaxed? If it makes you a little bit constricted to have someone in your room or waiting for you at the birth experience or the doctor that you are going to be working with, shift it. Your bubble needs to feel totally safe and totally protected, as well as the dynamic in your relationship. And this is why the communication aspect is so important. There are certain people that my mind kind of felt like maybe should be at my birth, but I needed to be super protective about who was here because I knew that if I was going to, I didn't want to pick up on anyone else's stuff. Also, the birth photographer that I had and the midwife that I had, they needed to be able to see my vision for the birth that I was gonna have. There were other midwives or other birth photographers and doulas that I talked to that could not see the possibility for a first-time home birth, or were also of the mindset of, well, you can't just, kind of choose what your birth is. Whether you can or cannot, you need to set yourself up for the best possible ability to get the birth that you want. And if you don't, well, you did what you could and you can learn and try something new next time. But the people around you are so important, because when you get scared, when you're questioning, can I do this? Or is this possible for me? Or in the moment, you need people saying, yes, you can. Not, do you want some drugs? Or do you want to go to the hospital? Or, oh, maybe, okay, you're a little bit scared, so now we're all getting panicked. You need that encouragement in the room, because absolutely, I will tell you, there were times in this room that I felt like I couldn't do it and was like, oh, can I do it? I don't know if I can do it. And the next breath, my mind was saying, yes, you can. So I started actually telling myself, yes, I can. But then I also had the people in my room saying, yes, you can. They knew, don't offer me drugs, because yes, I wanted them. Of course, this is intense. This is, a very powerful experience. But you need to, but it's such a short window that you just need to be able to have the bubble of peace and support around you. All right, so the people that are in your room are very important. Did I miss anything? Oh, finally, don't forget that you were born to do this. God don't make no mistakes. I don't actually talk like that, but seriously, I don't believe that there's any mistake that you have the female body that you have. I want you to lean into your ancestors. I want you to lean into all the women who came before you of what is possible for birth, and you were born to do this. So lean into that and trust your body. I would love for you to put in the comments what helped you to have an empowering birth experience. And please like this video and subscribe to get my next videos. I haven't planned my next video out yet, so it's going to be a surprise what it's going to be next week. As I'm recording this, I don't have the next one planned, so normally I tell ya. That's it, that's all. Make it a great day.